How y'all doing out there? My name is Rob Smith. I'm a writer, lecturer, activist living in New York City. Today marks 30 days since the day that Trayvon Martin was murdered, basically, in Florida. And this is the I Am Trayvon Martin project. The idea behind this project is to have an online space where all sorts of Black and Latino men, from the mailroom to the boardroom and everybody in between, can have a space to share their thoughts and their ideas and their stories about being racially profiled in this country. Because no matter what your income level is, no matter where you live, whether it's the North, the South, Midwest, or anywhere in between, every Black man in America has a story about being racially profiled. They have a story about being followed by the cops. They have a story about being looked at a certain type of way. They have a story about what we have to go through as African American, as Black men, as Latino men every day in a society that is very quick to arrest us. Every day I walk out of my apartment in New York City, I know that that is a day that I could literally be murdered on the street and there would be really no recourse. I know that my life is valued less than of somebody that may have a different color skin. I know when I look at stories of Amadou Diallo, of Sean Bell, of all these people who were actually, murdered on the streets, I know that that could very easily be me. And the reason why the Trayvon Martin story reverberates so well with me and with a lot of the other Black men that I talk to is because they know that it can all be us at any given moment. I am Trayvon Martin because this is something that could happen to me. This is something that could happen to cousins that I have. This is something that can happen to every Black boy that is walking down these streets today, regardless of whether you're wearing a hoodie or a three-piece suit. All right? So I'm going to share a little bit of my story, and what I want is for everybody to make your videos, use your hashtags. I want you to upload your videos to youtube.com/Iamtrayvonmartin. I want you to use a hashtag Iamtrayvonmartin because I want to hear your stories. But I want to tell the first story that I have that I can ever remember of being racially profiled. I went to school at Syracuse University. It was a great school. I had an amazing experience. One of my first semesters in Syracuse, I had actually gotten a job with a place called Telefon. So what they do is they do the telemarketing, trying to solicit donations from people who had already graduated. So I'd walked out of the interview for that. I'd actually gotten the job, was really happy, feeling really good about myself. And it actually coincidentally started to rain. And it was a dark night. It was probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock. The sun was already going down. So I was wearing a Syracuse sweatshirt and actually kind of popped my hoodie up over my head. And I was thinking thoughts of midterms, what this job would mean to me, all these other different things. And I kind of noticed there was this older white woman that was walking in front of me. And I could kind of notice, the clicking of her heels going faster and faster and faster. Then all of a sudden she just stops. And, she stares at me. And then she starts freaking out. She starts waving her fingers. She says, "Don't you follow behind me. Don't you do this. This is scary. Ask your mother, ask your sister, ask your grandmother. You don't do that. You don't follow behind women like that." And then she stops and stares at me. She was just really defensive. And then she made sure that I was in front of her while I went on my way. And, I could hear her, the click of her heels, scurrying to her car very, very quickly. And I didn't really think too much of it at the time. I just thought that, this woman, is really crazy, really scared or whatever. But then I just thought about it. I said, wow, I am a Black man in America. I guess I'm physically opposing, I'm whatever, because this woman was threatened by me purely because I was some Black man walking behind her with a hoodie. And it didn't matter that I was a student at Syracuse University. It didn't matter that I was coming from a job interview. It didn't matter that at that point I'd never spent a day in jail in my life. It didn't matter that I'm an Iraq War veteran that fought for my country. It didn't matter that I risked my life for the freedoms of somebody like her. What mattered was that I was Black, I was male, I was a threat. And she needed to deal with that threat the way that she needed to deal with. It's not something that made me feel good afterwards. It's not something that makes me feel good when I walk in the city every day and I see people looking at me a certain type of way because I'm a Black male, or because my build is a certain type of way, or because maybe one day I'm dressed a certain type of way. I mean, all the things that I've accomplished in my life, college graduate, Iraq War veteran, all this stuff does not matter. Because when people look at me, when I walk in the city, what they see is a black man. What they see is a scary threat. And that's what this project is all about. I don't want to hear the same voices talking about what black men go through in this society. I want to hear our voices. I want to hear your voices. I want to hear people that may be CEOs, people that may work in the mailroom, people that may work in the boardroom. I want to hear stories from everybody in between. Because the thing about it is that this isn't about a hoodie. This isn't about a style of dress. This is about what you have to go through as a black male in America. And I went to the Million Hoodie March in Union Square the other day, and I listened to Trayvon's parents speak. And the reason why this is so important to me is because this could have been me. This could be every single black or Latino boy walking around in this country. So that's one of my stories. I have plenty. But like I said, I want to hear your stories. I want you to make a video. It could be as long or short as you want to, however much time you need to get your story out. And I want you to upload those videos to youtube.com/Iamtrayvonmartin. I want you to tweet it. I want you to Facebook it. I want you to use a hashtag #IamTrayvonMartin. I want us to use this opportunity to get our stories and our voices and our faces out there. Because it's not just about having access to the media. We can do this ourselves. So I want to hear your stories. This is one of mine. Go to youtube.com/IamTrayvonMartin. Do a Twitter hashtag #IamTrayvonMartin. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear about how the death makes you feel. And I want to hear about maybe whether you've been in a situation where you could have become a Trayvon Martin. Because we all are.